And we are live. Welcome to a special NBA All-Star Game edition of the Strategy Show. I am Josh Engleman. I am joined by Adam Scherer, and we are brought to you by No House Advantage. It has been a hot minute since Adam and I have done a show together. So, Adam, what's going on, man?
Yeah, it's been a really long time. I feel like we haven't done a show all NBA season. So
I don't think we have.
Yeah, nice to be back doing a show together.
Did we do anything for football?
Yeah, we had our Sunday morning show.
Okay. Yeah, football is just not in my brain any longer.
And the lineup review show. We did a lot of shows during NFL season.
Oh, I forgot we started that Sunday morning show. Totally forgot that show even existed. Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
And then NBA just ripped from our hands, even though we probably did more shows together for the NBA last year than I did with anybody else.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got an all-star game today. Should be fun. We have a full schedule of shows on the Awesemo.com calendar, so we'll hit on those in a bit. Lots going on NBA All-Star Weekend, whether it's three-point contest, dunk contest, which is weird this year. I don't know. Are you an All-Star Game guy?
Yes and no. I mean, like, I've always liked the dunk contest and three-point shootout. Like, especially as a kid, I would really look forward to those. And then the All-Star games have always just been like, whatever. I couldn't care less. But I've always liked the stuff surrounding it. I haven't really paid any attention to any of that stuff this year because, like, I kind of just tuned it out once there was all the, like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not going to participate. And so, like, what is it? The dunk contest is at halftime today or something?
Yes.
Which
is,
3 points.
I guess, kind of cool. I don't know. I don't know.
Never.
It definitely happens, though. And we're going to talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah. So, in general, I like All-Star Weekend. But I kind of have just like tuned out of the surrounding events this time because there's just like so much noise around it.
Is there anything they could do to make this interesting?
No.
Do they turn it into like a 3-on-3 tournament or what can they do to actually make this like a full-on days event?
I thought you meant me personally. Like, do I just like get like loaded and gamble? Like, yeah.
No. Like, what can they do to make the NBA All-Star Game and the whole experience better? Like, is there a way to make the three-point contest better and promote it differently, or the dunk contest? Because nobody cares about this stuff. It's like fun, but it's not fun.
I think it's tough because it's just one of those things where like you can only improve it so much. It is what it is. But now you've had the dunk contest for so long, you know, it's still fun. It's still cool. You still see really athletic guys do crazy shit, but like, all the really cool dunks have been done mostly or can't be done. Basically the 3-point shootout is the 3-point shootout. Like there's only so much you can do there. I don't know. Like if you just scrap the entire game and turn it into like a 3-on-3 tournament or something like you kind of said, that would be really fun, I think.
Yeah. Or like there's always like a next man up. You're going up and down the floor in like a one-on-one situation. Yeah. You stay on if you're successful. I don't know. There's got to be something else there. I would love to see a small tournament of guys that want to play 2K against each other. I think that'd be a really fun experience.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't watch it, but like it would be cool.
Well, sure. I'm not going to watch any of this stuff. I use the NBA All-Star break as a chance to get away from the sport for a couple days.
I don't know. Like anything kind of like that would go back to like a schoolyard type format, I think would be really fun. Just because like, you know, it would let you see, you know, not everyone obviously would want to participate, but a lot of these guys, I mean, they like playing basketball and they're super competitive people. Like a lot of them would have, I think, fun with that, and it would kind of translate to the viewing experience. So, I don't know, like a big three with, you know, actual NBA players.
It would be sick. Or even if it was like a 2-on-2 NBA Jam style, obviously they don't get like superpowers and stuff, but it would be cool. Good memorabilia too. Anyway, let's dive into some of the main All-Star Weekend bets and props that we've looked at. Took a look at some of these at some of the sports books that we are able to talk about, which is nice. We're going to touch on bets and props. We're going to talk a little bit about DraftKings salaries and some strategy, a little bit about FanDuel salaries and some strategy, and then a little bit about our sponsor, No House Advantage, some of the props that they have up for their contest today. A lot of money to be made during the NBA All-Star Game. FanDuel's got 100K up top. DraftKings has 100K up top. No House Advantage contest looking pretty good as well. All for what amounts to the equivalent of a charity game. This should be fantastic. Team LeBron, -4.5 tonight. Over under 315. If I said to you, name the people that are on Team LeBron, would you be able to do that?
I feel pretty confident LeBron's there. I know Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum are not.
Yes.
Rudy Gobert is not, or is?
I got you here. Team LeBron. LeBron, Giannis, Curry, Luka, Jokic, Jaylen Brown, Paul George, Gobert, Lillard, CP3, Sabonis, and Ben Simmons. Team Durant, Beal, Embiid, Irving, Kawhi, Tatum, Booker, who's not there now, AD, Harden, Levine, Mitchell, Randall, Vooch, Zion, and then I assume Mike Conley.
Yeah, they both sound like really good teams. I think I would lean toward LeBron.
Okay. What do you make of just simply having a line in this game? Like, obviously the money is coming in and they can ultimately set it to where they're getting some balanced action, but would you want to take LeBron's team -4.5? I feel like I always want the points in this scenario, but that's also the same thing that I would expect most people to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's really hard to handicap a game where none of the people playing in it care. I don't know. Like, I think there's more talent on LeBron's team. I have no idea how that translates to this game, though.
315 total. Any thoughts? We're talking about 157.5 points if you just cut it down the middle, treating this game like a coin flip.
I don't have the data on it, but I feel like if you just always bet the over in the All-Star game, you probably would have come out ahead.
This doesn't strike me as the year they're going to play more defense.
No, definitely not.
Like, this one feels more so than any other year. There was a stretch where I thought that they might start trying to turn it into a little bit more of a competitive game. They were playing very competitive fourth quarters for a stretch. I don't feel like first All-Star game from COVID is going to be the year that they do.
Yeah, it's just, and again, this is purely narrative based, could be totally wrong. It just doesn't feel that way. And it's like, there's so many guys that are there because basically they don't want to get fined and they just have to be there. It doesn't seem like the game where it doesn't have that feel where they're going to, be giving it max effort down the stretch or anything like that.
All right. So we've got some odds to win the MVP of the All-Star game. I'm going to hit you with the 3 biggest favorites, and then I'm going to hit you with the one that I am interested in the most. Are you ready?
Yeah.
LeBron James is the favorite to win the MVP at +500. Joel Embiid is second at +600. Giannis is +650. Any interesting thoughts out of those first 3 guys before I hit you with my pick?
No, because I'm still trying to find it. And
if you open up the run sheet that I have provided for this show, there are links directly to these prop pages.
That helps, because I was looking on the actual site and couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's incredible how good I am at preparing for this. But anyway, LeBron at +500, Embiid at +600, Giannis at +650. I think that all seems pretty reasonable. I don't have a good feel for it, but I don't love the odds.
Yeah, I think it seems reasonable. I would lean towards LeBron just because it's LeBron, I guess.
Here's what I like. Mike Conley is +8,000. This is Mike Conley's first All-Star game, veteran in the league, I believe pretty well respected. Is there any chance that they just give Mike Conley the run in this spot?
It just seems so hard. I mean, Mike Conley doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's going to play a ton of minutes in this game because, for one, there's a lot of really better players that, as good as Mike Conley is, but also it's not even like Conley plays huge minutes for his NBA team in the regular season. If you go and look at last year, there were a few guys that play 28, 29 minutes. That's what Conley plays for the Jazz. I assume he's not playing that in the All-Star game.
I would assume so too, but at the same time, maybe they give him the reward. Is he the most elder statesman here, basically, outside of Chris Paul?
Yeah, I'll say it's him and Chris Paul, right?
Right. So wouldn't surprise me if for the first time that he's ever been in the All-Star game, he gets a little bit of extra run. Maybe they try to give him a little bit of extra shine. At 80-1, I think that those odds are disproportionate. He could just as easily go out there and play 6 minutes and just be happy to be there.
Out of the 80-1 guys, if you were taking one, it has to be either Conley, I guess Conley, Randall, or Sabonis. I don't think it can be Gobert. I don't think it can be Vooch.
I agree on both of those. Nobody cares if they could not put Vooch on the floor, and I don't think anyone would notice outside of Orlando.
Yeah, and I mean, what is Rudy Gobert going to do in an All-Star game to win the MVP? Block shots? I mean,
He might, and there may be some props at no house advantage that we'll talk about for Rudy Gobert in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he will block shots, but I'm saying like nobody's gonna be like, damn, that guy played defense. Here's the MVP.
Agreed. I think that 25-1 on Zion is also interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want guys that are able to do things with the ball in their hands, which typically isn't going to favor bigs.
Yes,
but Sabonis and Randall both are at least somewhat exceptions to that. The problem still, though, I think, is that like when you're playing on their respective teams, they end up being like the playmaker, but when you're playing with James Harden or Kyrie or LeBron or whatever, like they're not going to be like, hey, Julius, run the offense here.
No.
So I still think like if you're going to an 80-1 guy, not, that I really love it. I think Conley's like, he's the only guard there.
Yeah, I like it. That's my spot. I'm playing the narrative that they want to get Conley some shine. 3-point contest. Steph Curry is the leader in odds. Plus 110. Next closest guy is Donovan Mitchell at plus 450. We've got Zach LaVine, Mike Conley, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum all available. Brown and Tatum both plus 700. Are you just going with chalk Curry here, or would you rather get a little bit of value outside of the rest of these guys?
Zach LaVine all day.
Interesting. I like it. Man, I don't really see who else I would want, so I like your pick. I don't think that I would go to either of the Boston guys. To me, it's not Mike Conley in this spot. I'm there for you in the All-Star game, though, brother. And I don't really care to pick Donovan Mitchell in really anything that I do. So it's either Curry or LaVine. We're on the same page. I would love to watch this, but I probably won't.
Yeah, so we don't know what. Oh, today at 6:30. Yeah, I doubt I'm going to be able to, which sucks, actually.
By the way, 123 people in here right now, 13 likes. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. We're all here together on a Sunday, making it work. One other prop that I thought was very interesting for the 3-point contest. So they have the Mountain Dew Zone. They have 2 spots called the Mountain Dew Zone, which from what I read is 6 feet behind the 3-point line. That doesn't seem like all that far to me in an uncontested shot scenario.
Yeah, they practice that shot.
So you can bet. Let me just make sure that I'm Mountain Dew Zone shot. They added 2. Yeah, so that's what it says. From 6 feet beyond the 3-point arc. Steph Curry is plus 210 to make them both. Zach LaVine is plus 300 to make them both. I like a little bit of the odds of these guys hitting both of those shots.
Yeah, especially Steph.
Yeah. I mean, 6 feet uncontested. What do you think Steph shoots from 6 feet uncontested? 50%?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, what's he shoot a normal 3 uncontested? Like 70? Yeah,
like a free throw, like a normal free throw to most people.
Yeah.
So plus 210 for Curry to make them both implies what? Like a 33% chance to do it, more or less. What's 100 divided by 310? Yeah, 32% chance to make them both.
Yeah, it seems good.
I like it. I think. I want to look at these bets. The no's are insane. Like, there's no chance that I'm betting minus 560 on Tatum. No. These guys are NBA players shooting uncontested shots from, 28 feet or something? These guys take them in the game.
Why is Jaylen Brown's no odds so much worse than Jason Tatum's? Like, I understand they're not the same player, but like when you're talking about that specific shot over 2, like I feel like there shouldn't be that kind of gap.
Yeah, I agree. Jaylen Brown is plus 140 to make one of the 2. That feels like free money to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a weird prop in general, like with no basis for it. But yeah, it just seems like NBA players who are good shooters, like, should, like, it's not like they're going to, like, airball it or throw it over the backboard or something. Like, they're either going to hit the back of the rim or they're going to make it. Like, there's... Yeah.
It's a full-on clean look from 6. It's only 6 feet. If they were like half-court shots, I'd be like, oh, okay, those are bombs.
Yeah, I'll say it's not like they're like sitting on the floor throwing it the length of the court or something. They're just taking 3-pointers from 6 feet further.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like they're going to be rushed when they take them. That's the only thing that I don't know enough about. But for right now, those are lines that just stood out to me immediately because uncontested threes, there's 6 guys shooting. I feel like at least 2 of them are going to make both more than once. I don't know. I didn't even know that these things existed, but I think those are props that people should be looking at. It's just weird to me, truly weird.
And I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like we talk in general that player prop lines aren't the most efficient anyway, but with something like this where nobody really knows, like we don't have data to say, oh yeah, this is how likely it is to happen. Like you would assume these lines are inefficient one way or the other, just because we have limited ability to correctly predict it. So,
yeah,
I think that, again, it might not be the way that we think it's going to go, but there's a pretty good chance that these lines, like when you look back, like if you have this format for the next 5 years and you look back at these lines, you're just like, holy God, these were bad lines.
Yeah. Like, what is Steph shooting on the shot from the tunnel in Oracle? Like, I feel like that's got to be a harder shot, and he makes that constantly. Just wild. Just for the record, so Steph is minus 278 to make the final of the 3-point contest. Donovan Mitchell is second at minus 130, and then Conley and Levine are both minus 110. I was not expecting Mike Conley to be a little bit better, and apparently just the 2 Boston guys are getting crapped all over in this 3-point contest. I hope they make them shoot against each other.
Kind of surprised that Conley's that low.
I'm very confused by it all. Skills challenge, 2 guys most likely to win, Luka and Chris Paul, both at plus 175. The other 4 guys are Randall, Sabonis, Vooch, and Covington. Luka's got to win this thing, right?
Where did they get these people from?
What do you mean? Well, like, why is Robert Covington in the skills challenge? Is that the question you're asking?
That's what I meant.
Yes, I have no idea. That's the real weird one. Look, I like Robert Covington and all. When I think of go showcase your skills at an all-star competition, Robert Covington is not in my Rolodex of guys I need to call to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird seeing 3 bigs, but at least they're 3 like skilled bigs. Yeah. I mean, they still probably don't belong in this alongside Chris Paul and Luka Doncic, but they're skilled bigs. And then there's Robert Covington, who is very, very good at what he does in the NBA, but it doesn't involve any of this.
Is there a skill in the skills challenge where he has to just be like a team defender that deflects passes? Because that should be the only reason that he is there.
They pull out the jugs machine and he just like swats passes away.
That's it. That's all I can do. So those are some of the lines, some of the props we've got going for tonight's game. My recommendation, look into those Mountain Dew zones, everybody. If you can get those lines, that's the spot to be. But now we got to touch on what everybody is here for. Let's talk a little bit about the salaries on DraftKings. We'll touch on FanDuel after this in a little bit. So most expensive player on the DraftKings slate, $14,700 in the I don't remember what it's called. Captain spot. Almost call it the MVP spot. Wouldn't have mattered. You guys would have known what I meant. Giannis is at the top of the heap, though. He's 9,800 in general. Mike Conley, the cheapest player on the slate at 3K. If I'm going with my narrative of Mike Conley at 80-1, I certainly like him quite a bit at 3K as lineup filler. How are you feeling about the salaries at the top end? If you're looking to pay up, who are your priorities if you're paying up? Because Giannis is up there, but LeBron is $600 cheaper with higher MVP odds.
Yeah, I'm trying to think through it from like a narrative standpoint, I guess. It feels more likely that Giannis plays, like if Giannis or LeBron play big minutes, my guess would be that it's Giannis. But
okay,
I don't feel super confident in that. LeBron played 19 minutes last year. Giannis played 31.
I know how many Luka didn't play because he sat out the 4th quarter and I ended up with a mustache.
Yeah, he played 18.
I was drunk in New Orleans this time last year. I mean, it had already happened in like the actual timeline of events, but last All-Star break, I was drinking my sorrows away knowing that I was going to have a mustache.
Yeah, so Giannis led the entire game in minutes played last year.
And that's probably why he's 9,800 and has a player prop of 23.5 points, the highest of anyone in the All-Star game. Embiid and LeBron both at 22.5. They're the only 3 guys north of 20 points in the points props.
29 minutes for Embiid last year as well.
Interesting.
Chris Paul played 26.
This feels like a spot where Embiid should not be playing 29 minutes, given that he is the linchpin to everything that's happening for Philadelphia, but we'll see where that goes. What are your thoughts on my man, Mike Conley, at a crisp 3K?
I was going to say, I think that makes, like, going with your narrative, because I think your narrative makes sense. I just have trouble buying into the MVP part of it over everyone else in the game. But, minimum salary, I think it's a pretty good spot to test it out.
Any of the high price guys that you don't see as good options today?
I mean, I don't
like,
really
obviously, like last year, Luka sitting the fourth quarter was a giant problem. Is there someone there that you think could be a problem at the high salaries?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hesitant on LeBron just because why? Like, I'm sure he'll get his when he's out there, but why would he play big minutes here? He also sat out of the Lakers' most recent game, which, like, I don't think it was anything big. I think it was a back-to-back and heading into the All-Star break. But, like, he's been, I don't even want to say banged up, but he's been on the injury report every game this season.
He's got the Q tag on DraftKings for today as well.
Right, yeah. Just, I don't know. It feels like I'd be more surprised if LeBron plays 30 minutes than if he plays, like, 16.
Okay. I agree with you. LeBron would be the guy that I would be trying to get away from here as well.
Plus, he's going to have ownership because he's LeBron James.
Yeah. Would you be more interested in simply taking the under on his points? That actually has a little bit of juice on it now. Under 22.5 is minus 117.
I still kind of don't like that because he's going to just score at a ridiculous rate when he's out there.
Yeah.
And like 19 minutes in an All-Star game is still like 26 minutes of an actual game. So I think I dislike LeBron more when you're like comparing him to the other top end guys like you are in DFS than I do in saying I don't think LeBron has a good game.
Okay. Let's do the opposite now. Let's head to the bottom of the salary tier. I've obviously made my thoughts on Mike Conley vocal so far in this show. Man, he's going to play like 4 minutes and it's going to be gross. But anyway, what do you see as potential value plays that you can that can open up? I think that there is one, if you scroll to the bottom of the salary tier, that very much stands out.
Sabonis?
No, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going a little bit too high, but Zion being the sixth cheapest guy in an All-Star game seems weird to me, especially with the way that he's been playing. Not that I think that matters, but I mean, he's the guy that they want to get shine to.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm an idiot. So I knew we were doing DraftKings.
True.
And then when you said Conley was 3K, so I had the MVP button clicked or captain, whatever it is. And so he was 4,500. So I was like, oh, I guess Josh switched sites and we're on FanDuel. So then I'm looking at FanDuel and I'm like, where is Mike Conley 3K? And so, yeah, now I have the right pricing back up. And yeah, I'm
fantastic. Yeah, that's for him for 4,600. I assume he's ultra popular given that salary. But if you're playing All-Star game cash today, everybody, I think that Zion looks like a pretty much of a cash lock. I can't even say that out loud.
$3,800 Chris Paul seems great.
So Chris Paul has no points prop that I can find. Zion is at 13.5 with the over a bit juiced. I don't know. I don't know what Chris Paul wants to do for an All-Star game. Like maybe Chris Paul is like, just give Mike Conley my minutes. I'm team Mike Conley all the way.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. But he played 20, again, it doesn't matter much, but he played 26 minutes last year.
Okay.
And it's still the same. Like, I think the narrative for Chris Paul was the same last year. Like, he's one of the oldest guys in the game. And does he want to play? And he played 26 minutes. I don't know if that carries over to this year. But when you look at the cheap guys, like looking at the guards specifically, you have Mike Conley, you have Chris Paul. So, I don't know. I think Paul is ahead of Conley in the pecking order. It's entirely possible, like you said, he just gives his minutes to Conley, especially, I mean, those two have a relationship as well. Yeah. So, like that's certainly possible. But when you're just thinking about wanting guys with the ball in their hands that are cheap and have the potential to play relatively big minutes, I think Paul fits the bill there.
Who do you think is the best play on DraftKings today?
$8,800 Luka.
Kind of a homer pick for you, but sure. Just assume you were going to go. It was either him or Beal, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to touch on from a DraftKings strategy perspective?
I don't think so.
Okay. Easy enough. So, guys, again, hit that like button. We're almost up to 200 people. We need a little bit more of the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, too. Just because we got to 50K doesn't mean we want to stop getting subscribers. We're running that number up. The higher that number goes, the more we hit milestones, the more we do giveaways for you guys. It's really that simple. Schedule for the rest of today. There are 4 more shows on the Awesemo YouTube channel today. At 2 p.m. Eastern Time, NASCAR Live Before Lock with Jason and Chris. They'll be breaking down whatever race is happening today, but it's by all accounts a race if we have a Live Before Lock show. 3 p.m. is the NHL Strategy Show with Cliffy and Josh. And then 2 hours of NBA All-Star coverage, NBA Deeper Dive, Eric and Rinpack breaking it down for an hour. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, EMAC, Terry McBride, NBA Live Before Lock. So 4 more shows of content for today. It's kind of fun. No giveaways or anything, no promos, no free content right now. Nothing going on there. We're going to touch on No House Advantage in a little bit. But now we're going to transition over to FanDuel, where, again, 100K up top. Lots to talk about. And here, it's a little bit different. LeBron James is the most expensive player on FanDuel. Giannis coming in $500 cheaper. I assume you do not like LeBron James all that much at the most expensive salary on FanDuel.
Yeah, you would be assuming correctly.
Okay, there we go. Is Giannis your preferred pay-up option on FanDuel?
Yeah, I think so. Again, it's just it's obviously just a guessing game and really difficult, but like, because he played so much last year, he's playing more minutes in general this year. I don't really see a reason to think. I don't want to say I don't see a reason to think he plays less than 31 minutes. I think it's pretty likely he plays less than 31 minutes, but I don't see a reason to think that like he's going to be significantly limited or something.
Do you think in an all-star game you should approach the MVP, star, and pro spots differently than you normally would when it's just like an actual basketball game?
I don't think so.
Okay. I would say the same sort of scenario for me. I mean, I think that you're more likely to put weirder people in the MVP spot just because there's variance in playing time.
Yeah, there's a lot more volatility in general.
Yeah, but I still think, you're probably looking at that top. The more expensive guys are more likely to be in that MVP spot. Like, there's a reason why Giannis is projected to be one of the 3 MVPs and the highest points total. You're going to probably need that in the MVP spot.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you think about how the game's going to go, obviously there's minutes concerns, but again, you're getting so many possessions per minute that guys are still going to be really productive in relatively limited playing time. But also, the stars are still going to dominate the ball when they're on the floor. And so it's going to, like these mid-tier guys are very good NBA players, but when they're out there playing with LeBron and Giannis and Harden, like they're going to sort of be treated like they are, not very good NBA players. So the opportunities are still going to be there for the guys at the top.
So Nikola Vucevic is the cheapest salary on FanDuel for today, which is a little bit different than DraftKings, where he is the 5th cheapest. Mike Conley, not even in the player pool. So I can't even advocate for Mike Conley on FanDuel. He is simply not there. Do you think they add him? Or is it probably too late at this point?
I'm guessing it's too late now. If they were going to do it, they would have done it by now.
Yeah, weird. So
they should just like change Devin Booker to Mike Conley. The price would suck, but
yeah, for sure. So looking at the bottom of the FanDuel salaries, anybody standing out as the value play that you want to get to?
Yeah, so now I'll go to Monte Sabonis because that was what I answered last time when I was looking at FanDuel salary and you asked me.
There you go.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. Sabonis at least has the skill set, I think. He's only 7K. I have no idea how many minutes he plays, but.
Do you think there's any narrative to Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert about being the last 2 picks in the draft that they want to go out there and get a little bit of additional run?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, it just comes down, though, to, like...
Who's coaching?
Huh?
Who's coaching?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it kind of comes down to, like, maybe they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, but that would need... It would kind of need to be, like, a team-based effort to make that happen, which seems weird.
Quinn Snyder is coaching Team LeBron.
So he's coaching against Mitchell.
Yes. And then who the hell is Doc Rivers is coaching Team Durant. So there's that.
So Doc Rivers gets a say in how many minutes Embiid plays. That seems not good for Embiid.
Right. Or it's either really good for Embiid or bad for Embiid. Yeah, I don't think there's a middle ground.
Yeah, Embiid will probably be allowed to do what he wants. It's just a matter of how hard is he going to push to play in this game.
Right. So that's an interesting wrinkle. Do you think that Quinn Snyder opens up anything? Am I wrong?
No. I was going to say which. So Quinn Snyder's coaching against Conley too. That sucks.
Yeah. Because that would have been really great.
Yeah.
Oh, weird stuff. I didn't really think about it. That has to matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Quinn Snyder or Doc Rivers make decisions for their closing lineup that affects their current players? Like Embiid, I think, closes no matter who the coach is, or at least if he wants to closes no matter what. I don't think that Quinn Snyder is going to be able to force the hand to get any of his guys into a closing lineup.
Yeah, I mean, unless I don't know, if they're winning by a few points and they actually care, maybe you go to Gobert, but
maybe
still, I mean, going Gobert over Jokic would just be absurd.
Anybody in the FanDuel player list that we haven't really talked about that you think is probably going under the radar? To me, it's interesting that Kyrie Irving is $500 cheaper than Bradley Beal. I think Beal is a little overpriced on FanDuel, relatively speaking.
I think Levine's a little underpriced at $9,500. When you just think about the skill set to take over an All-Star game and just be that guy, Levine has it. And he's $9,500, not to take anything away from Jaylen Brown or Chris Paul or Zion or Simmons, whatever. Like Zion and Simmons, I think of as guys that are very likely to have some ridiculous highlight-worthy plays tonight. Levine, I think, is the one that could just go out there and, Zach LaVine just dropped 35 points in an All-Star game kind of thing.
Yeah, doesn't miss for 3 or 4 minutes.
Right.
I like that call. And he's in a tier where, Jaylen Brown's under him, I'd prefer Levine. Chris Paul is under him, I would prefer Levine just from a scoring perspective. And then you're getting into a very different salary tier. Above him, who would you rather have? Zach LaVine at $9,500 or Zion at $10K?
I think I'd go Levine.
Interesting. Okay.
It's just I just want guys that can score in a variety of ways, because you're not going to have a bunch of slow possessions, and Zion I'm sure will have a good game, but you're not going to have a bunch of slow half court possessions where Zion's hanging out in the post and stuff. I want Levine to just come down, jack a three, make it, and then 3 seconds later jack another three and make it. That's my hesitancy with bigs is you're gonna get some ridiculous dunks from Zion and all of that, but you're not getting half court offense for these guys. So I just prefer Levine's gonna get his dunks too in transition, but I just prefer the guys that are gonna pull up from the logo and knock down 3-pointers
from the Mountain Dew zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Great plug there. Look, Levine should be plenty familiar with not playing defense, so that this game fits him perfectly. He would be plenty familiar with not being at the All-Star game if it wasn't a complete farce, but I'm not going on that tangent again.
What?
Yeah, Chris Middleton should be
on the All-Star team?
Not over Chris Middleton. What? You don't think Chris Middleton can be Zach LaVine on the garbage Bulls team? Come on.
I think Zach LaVine's been one of the best players in the NBA this year.
He has been fantastic offensively, and that dude is a turnstile on defense. I agree. Fantastic offensively. I don't think he deserves an all-star bid over Chris Middleton. Not close to me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. At least Mike Conley made it. He should have made it straight away. He shouldn't have needed 2 guys to get bumped for it.
Levine's the one player that if Beal hadn't gotten a starting spot, I think it should have been Levine.
I don't think it should have been Beal either. Although,
I think it should have been Beal, but if they're all the talks about who got snubbed and whatever. Yeah. Levine's the one guy that I think maybe did.
Yeah. Oh well. Zach LaVine, by the way, 9.5 point prop, -117 to the over. Zion right now 13.5. Something to think about. I like those salaries are an interesting spot. What does Ben Simmons do in an All-Star game? All right, here we go. Making up a prop on the spot. Over under a half 3-point attempt from Ben Simmons.
It would be kind of funny if he just like started shooting him to like spite Doc Rivers or something.
I see it the opposite way. I want them to treat him like he's the towel boy for the high school team, and they like form a wall to let him shoot a three. I want them to really shame him for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the.
Does he shoot a three today?
Well, yeah. So I get it. You have to like kind of try and think like through the mindset there. Like, does he think it's fun to shoot 3-pointers and he's going to go out there and do it like Shaq or like Dwight Howard or something, or is he like, I'm not bringing attention to me shooting threes? Like the last thing I want to do in this game is shoot a 3-pointer.
I would love to see him do like a Harden style step back. Bury it too. Just bounce the threes on the head or something. Fresh Prince in chat says over. Chat, what do you think? Does Ben Simmons shoot a three in the All-Star game? There should be a line on that, by the way. I don't know where I would have to go to find some of that. Is Ben Raza watching this? Do you have a Ben Simmons 3-point attempt prop on any one of those egregious sports books you use? Another over. A lot of people thinking he's going to shoot a three, which makes me want to take the under because it's YouTube chat. Sorry, guys. But if you guys think it's the over, I'm quite confident I'm taking the under. Wisdom of the crowds, and I use that term wisdom incredibly loosely. Any other salaries that you see on FanDuel that we should touch on a little bit? Is there anybody getting fully slept on? Like anybody? Like we haven't even said Damian Lillard's name.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It was like Damian Lillard at 11K. I mean, he's certainly another one of those just guys that can absolutely take over.
Where is the All-Star game?
Atlanta.
Okay. So that's irrelevant for anybody that we need to mention. It's not like there's a Trae Young narrative. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add then from the FanDuel side here. I think that pretty much covers everything. And look, you guys will get a lot more analysis during the deeper dive later tonight, 6 p.m. and during Live Before Lock at 7 p.m. I will maybe catch a little bit of the beginning of the All-Star game, but I've got AEW wrestling pay-per-view tonight to watch. So my thought process is already taken care of. Exploding barbed wire death match tonight, man. It's going to be gory. No selling my wrestling fandom. I love it. We got to talk a little bit about No House Advantage now, and we're going to talk some props from No House Advantage today. No House Advantage running a contest. Let me pull it up because I don't want to miss it. I know it's in the read. $10,000 All-Star Game Showdown, $5K to first. You can sign up at No House Advantage using the promo code Awesemo. Get a first match deposit bonus of up to $20. You're not worried about fantasy points here. These are player props. You're picking over and under, points, rebounds, assists, combinations of all of those. I think you could find it very valuable to find what the props are elsewhere that can change. No House Advantage's props are static, so you're not going to have to worry about them moving. Keep an eye on where they are in the actual industry. Could give you a little bit of a leg up in the contest. I have all of their props pulled up in front of me. I've got a couple ready to go just to give to you, but I think you guys should head to No House Advantage, sign up using our promo code. It's a good spot to make a little bit of moolah. You should find lesser competition. You'll find some overlay pretty regularly. It's a great spot to build your bankroll. So go check out No House Advantage. And shout out to Tim for the super chat. It says grinding for years with mixed results, but up 4,500 in February and took second in the FanDuel shot on Thursday for 40K. Can't thank you guys enough for helping me develop a profitable process over time. Tim, that's awesome. I'm jealous of your 40K in the shot on Thursday because I certainly did not get to second place, but I'm happy that you did. So seriously, congratulations.
Yeah, it's awesome. Congrats.
That's plus 40, call it 4,500 over February and then into March. Not a terrible way to.
I forgot it was March now. I was just like, dude, how are you only up 4,500?
Yeah. Well, he was down 35,000 prior to that.
I appreciate you guys. It cost me a house down payment, but now I'm up 4,500.
Yeah. No, he's just killing it. So Tim, congratulations, man. All right. The first prop that I pulled is an easy one for you. At No House Advantage, LeBron James has a points prop of 24.5. He is currently at 22.5 with juice to the under at a sports book that I will not name. How do you feel about LeBron James points prop on SuperDraft on No House Advantage? Shit.
It seems like you should probably take the under.
Right. So I agree with you there completely. I feel like that should also be a relatively high priority pick. So you're picking 8 props on No House Advantage today for this All-Star Game contest. You give 8 points to your favorite, 7 to the second, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 8 points is your highest priority prop. But getting LeBron a couple points under, or getting where his current line is, I think that's a really nice prop. I have another one for you. Over under 2.5 threes made by LeBron.
Over?
Interesting. I don't know what to make of that one.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good line. I don't know. I envision just so much 3-point shooting in this game.
Yeah. But is LeBron looking for threes, or is he only in the interest of like run out dunks? How many do you have the box score up for last year?
Somewhere.
God, Liverpool's going to lose to Fulham.
Yeah. It doesn't say how many threes he took though.
Okay. Well, I'll do the work for you. 2020 All-Star Game box score. All right. I got it. LeBron was 2 for 10 from 3 last year. So does he shoot better than 20% this year? Because I think 10 threes is a pretty reasonable thought process for attempts.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect him to.
By the way, Chris Paul, 7 for 11 from 3 last year. Kawhi Leonard, 8 of 14.
So much 3-point shooting.
Team Giannis last year was 11 for 40. Team LeBron, take a guess what they were from 3.
24 for 70.
You're an asshole. Thank you for reading it directly out of the box score. Otherwise, that's the coolest guess in the history of the world.
Russell Westbrook 0 for 4. That's surprising.
Yeah.
0 3-point attempts for Ben Simmons, by the way.
24. They took 30 more threes in this game and won by 2. Oh, man, that is nuts. Oh, wait, what was... Oh, Ben Simmons 0 for 0. Interesting.
Yeah, in almost 30 minutes.
Who else shot like garbage from 3? Pretty much just everybody from the LeBron team other than Chris Paul and Kawhi.
Yeah. Tatum 0 for 4.
Yeah. Devin Booker 0 for 4. Russell Westbrook, obviously, as you mentioned, 0 for 4. Anyway, let's keep it moving for No House Advantage props. Rudy Gobert, over under 1.5 blocks.
I want to say under.
He had 1 block last year. He was 10 for 11 from the field last year. He had 21 and 11. Good God.
In 18 minutes.
But 1 block.
Yeah. I mean, I lean under just because I wouldn't expect Gobert to be one of the leaders in minutes played. And because there's still going to be opportunities, obviously, but like just so many possessions are going to be in transition and, not with Rudy Gobert just hanging out around the basket.
Yeah, I would lean towards the under on that one, but I have no real comfort. Next one, going to be a little bit more in your wheelhouse. Luka Doncic, over under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Last year, he went under that by miles.
Yeah, last year he was awful.
Yeah, and he was, I think, my captain against Laffy.
Yeah, 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think it's really close.
23 and 6 and 5. So that's 11. So last year, LeBron had 34 total.
Yeah, I think I would lean under.
Same.
There's just so many
feels
ways.
Like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many ways for the under to hit because we don't know how many minutes Luka's going to play.
Right.
We don't know, obviously, what he's like. You assume he's going to be productive when he's out there, but that's not a guarantee. But like, yeah, I mean, the minutes are just so volatile too.
Harden only took threes last year. 3 for 9 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3. Oh, amazing. All right, next prop. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Zion Williamson, over under 15.5 points at No House Advantage.
What's his prop elsewhere? Do you know?
13.5, but it's juiced to the over right now. Mostly a stay away?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I kind of want to lean over just because I envision a lot of Zion dunks. But
sure.
Again, like it's just, I don't feel comfortable going over on a lot of these just because I have no idea how many minutes guys are going to play.
Well, here's one for you, and I want to know what you think. I know what the answer to this is, and it is an immediate answer to me. Bradley Beal. Do you have a guess? Are you looking at? Have you seen what his prop is yet?
I'm looking at the run sheet.
Shite. I just assumed that you still weren't. 24.5 points for Bradley Beal. That is the same line as LeBron James. Currently in the market, Bradley Beal has an over-under points prop of 15.5.
Yeah, 24.5 seems absurd. Like
either no house,
but
either No House Advantage knows something that we don't, or that should be the immediate number 8 prop on No House Advantage today.
Yeah,
that's the one. Has to be under. I've never been more confident that Bradley Beal is going over that number now that we're saying it. I don't know what happened there. It should be, it's like they accidentally typed a 2.
It's like they just based their lines on like season-long points per game.
But even then, it's super low.
Well, no, but I'm saying like scaled or adjusted for the All-Star game, but like it was just, Bradley Beal leads the league in scoring. Bradley Beal's going to have like the highest prop.
Yeah, maybe. But either way, I think that he has to just be the number 8 selection under. I don't think that you can find one that is going to be more different. I don't know. Whatever the proper way to say that is than that particular line. I mean, I think that's crazy.
The narrative could be that Bradley Beal got snubbed in the past and Bradley Beal just goes off here. But I still would think
I would just unload as much as I could on over 15.5 then.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which I assume the limit is like $50.
Yeah. I forgot that we're talking about two different things here. Yeah. I kind of like the over 15.5 prop and then absolutely love the under 24.5.
This is not a No House Advantage prop, but I just saw it at the sports book. Bradley Beal is minus 160 to score more points than Jokic. Jokic is plus 130. There's another name we haven't said.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I like Beal there.
Jokic's points prop on No House Advantage is 18.5. It is at the sports book. Jokic's points prop is 13.5. I'm not sure if you guys are listening too much, but if you are, we are basically explaining, I don't want to say guaranteed props that you should be taking on No House Advantage, but guaranteed prop. These are value plays that are opening up and going to play 36 minutes at flat min salary on a normal day. Like they're not even in the ballpark of what they should be. Gotta unload on those two things. Like Jokic's player prop at 18.5 with his actual prop at 13.5. That has to be one of the highest ranked props for an under.
Yeah, it seems very high.
I'm very happy to unload on a bunch of these. If we look at one, like Giannis, it's hard to talk about Giannis at 24.5. I don't think that's all that interesting. Joel Embiid's prop is at 20.5. I don't think it's all that interesting. I actually like the over for Embiid's prop there. His sportsbook prop is higher than that. But even guys like Vooch, 21.5 points and rebounds, that's a lot for a guy that I don't think is going to be out there for, a ton of time. Who played? So like Jokic played 12 minutes last year. Bam played 12 minutes. That's about what you would expect out of Vooch for this spot, right? Like he's not going to get a ton of run.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Can he double in 10 minutes? Sure, but I don't expect him to. Any other No House Advantage props we should touch on before we sort of start to wrap this bad boy up? Dame is at 19.5. His actual prop is 15.5. Pretty aggressively shaded to the under. So I'm seeing a lot of under No House Advantage points props in the future.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
All right, chat. If you have any final questions for Adam and I before we get out of here, feel free to drop them into YouTube chat. We got about 236 people in here, 73 likes. Can we get that number north of 100? Can we run that up a little bit further? That would be just downright great. I am going to leave this show and go cry because Liverpool is about to lose at home for like the 7th straight time, and it's embarrassing. I'm just sad. I'm all over sad right now. Gave up a goal 1 minute before I was signing into this show. It really put a sour, dark cloud over me. Chat, I don't see you hitting that thumbs up. 77, you're not making progress like I was asking. Lazy on this Sunday, chat. You're lazy. Adam, any final thoughts on this All-Star game?
I don't think so. It should be fun. Enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy yourselves. Don't get too crazy, but seriously, go to No House Advantage. Sign up with the promo code Awesemo. Get yourself the $20 bonus on your first deposit. This is the time to be at No House Advantage. I don't get the sense that a ton of people are going to be paying a ton of attention to this contest. There's 5K up top, and there are a lot of very, very soft lines that you can get added to your card. Again, you're making 8 props, taking over-unders on everything. And Adam and I just pointed out quite a few that are wildly off.
Might just drive to Pennsylvania and enter that tournament instead of going to my dad's birthday thing.
There you go. I think that sounds like a great idea. Anyway, that'll do it, guys. Thank you for joining us. Tune into everything we've got going later today. 2 more hours of NBA All-Star coverage coming up later tonight. And then the NBA will be back on Wednesday and we can get back to normal. So good luck tonight, everybody. Enjoy the All-Star game. We will talk to you again soon.